It's kind of what I'm looking for. This, I thought that was easy.
No.
It's 5:30. I'd like to call this meeting of the school board to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
you. Roll call, please.
Bedifer,
Present.
Doobie,
Present.
Holstein,
Present.
Yaris, Rabish, present, Kuchar,
Present.
and Anderson excused.
Thank you. Any additions, deletions, changes to the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as printed.
Or
Motion support, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Community comments? Anybody like to address the board about any of the agenda items? Anyone? All right. Spartan Spotlight, Mr. Sanford.
So our Spartan Spotlight for the month of September is Christy Nelson. So every now and again, you just need to find a person that is capable and willing to step in and step up when asked. One such person is Christy Nelson. Christy's official job is being the afternoon secretary at Pinconning Central Elementary. However, with the difficulties that schools have in finding substitutes for all positions, Christy has been called upon to fill various jobs throughout the district. Some of those jobs include filling in as a paraprofessional in the GSRP program, substitute secretary, being a one-on-one healthcare aide for a student, filling in as the building secretary between the transition phase from one secretary to another, and constantly being asked to be a noon hour aide. The Pinconning Area School District, and in particular Pinconning Central Elementary, is very fortunate that we have a person that fills in as effectively and efficiently as Mrs. Nelson. We appreciate being able to count on her. We appreciate being able to count on her help to support our school and district. Pinconning Central Elementary is proud to recognize Mrs. Christy Nelson as the Spartan Spotlight recipient for the month of September.
Daughter, congratulations and thank you. I know she works hard. I get reports almost daily. Consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda and pay bills totaling $629,951.81.
We have a motion and support. Discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Bedifer,
Yes.
Doobie,
yes.
Holstein,
Yes.
Yaris,
Yes.
Rabish, yes, Kuchar,
Yes.
6-0.
Thank you. Motion carries. Communication, Mr. Kowalczyk.
Thank you, President Kuchar. I wanted to start with some information on the MyFi survey that our students take. MyFi is the Michigan Profile for Healthy Youth. And part of the agreement that we made with the Sterling Area Health Center by doing our school-based health center was that we need to administer the MyFi, which we have done in the past. And it's for grades 7, 9, and 11, and it's every other year that they do this. So it's a half-hour anonymous survey that has a parent notification form, and students can be opted out. The MyFi provides student results on health risk behaviors, including substance use, violence, physical activity, nutrition, sexual behavior, and emotional health in those grades of 7, 9, and 11. There is a basic version that doesn't reference sexual behaviors and suicide. Many of our neighbors, our neighboring districts use this for the middle school or the 7th grade survey. So what I'm asking is think about this survey. If you have any questions, you can send them to me, but we'll put it on the next board meeting to approve just to make sure we're okay with that. So just wanted to get it to you first tonight so that you had a little idea that it was coming. Really what it's for are the state Department of Health. They use the survey from the students all over the state to kind of see the trends on what students need. And they go by the county and by our school too. And it's anonymous, so there's no names, but we can see if there's a spike in vaping or if there's a spike in different health type things that we need help with. And then that's how they staff and provide us with those things. So it's beneficial. Occasionally, though, some parents don't like some of the questions that are in it because it's some personal questions, but it's anonymous, and that's what they want to know, what they can help our students with. So you can look for that at the next board meeting. Oh, it's on this one?
Yeah.
Oh, great. So it's on there. Good.
So we can approve, when do we approve last time, basic?
I wasn't here, so I don't know.
We've done, sorry.
Oh,
but
good. Yeah.
somehow I got thrown into it because they started doing it via computer, so they're like, oh,
Jason.
right, I'm in charge of it. So, I mean, I did it for years, even though I probably wasn't the most qualified to be doing it because of the nature of it, not because of how it was administered. So, I mean, we've done everything. We did, like Mr. Kwalchek suggesting with cutting out the suicide and the sexual stuff for the lower grades, and then 9 and 11 does the full one. It was pretty rare that we ever had anybody say, like maybe 2 or 3 kids each year that didn't want to participate. But I mean, we've been doing this for, it was one of the first things that was brought to me by the ISD, so
Long time.
20 years,
Yeah.
as long as I've been here.
And I did talk with Mr. Woodruff today about it, and he has Mr. Sheeran already looking into it to help administer it. But with the one-to-one Chromebooks that we have, we don't have to take one class where they're coming into the library like they used to. It should be a much easier process, I would think. Works with our Chromebooks pretty well. Not a lot.
Should, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to do it in the ITV room
Right.
if we had that.
Yeah.
So.
So it should be an easy process. I recommend having the 7th grade do the basic and the 9th and 11th grade do the full version. But again, parents will get a letter that explains exactly what it is with an opt-out if possible. So no one is forced to do any of this. But it will be good information for us and for the health department.
So who's gonna administer it this year, Jay still?
He might help with
So, but-
tech stuff, but
Right.
no, we have a teacher that's doing it. And like I talked with Mr. Woodruff about today, we might say first hour, everybody's taking it. It's a half-hour test when not everyone's 7th, 9th, and 11th grade. So
I thought it was random.
nope.
My,
No.
sorry, not so,
You're good.
but my argument was always, because some of the questions are sensitive, I really felt like somebody, like a mental health counselor should be on hand. So I think for some of the years, Mrs. Palmville actually sat in with me just in case, because you never know what might happen to a student, and if it's a trigger, they might need somebody there to talk to or something, so.
Well, the parents get this form. I don't see on this form where it says they go in and read the questions before they decide if they want to do it or not.
I think it's available on the state
The
website.
state website, all questions are there. Yeah.
They should have that on the form, I think, so parents know where they get it, because the front of the form does say this statement: participation in this survey will cause little or no risk to a student. So, right there, I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's a
Why are we
weird statement.
exposing it to little risk?
It's part of what they have to do on surveys is let the participant know the expected stress. And so it's kind of how professional surveys are done. I had to do that on the stuff I did for my master's.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, it's just pretty standard stuff. It's like, are you gonna get electrotherapy, shock therapy, or, so it's just about how much stress may you experience. Are we gonna talk about very uncomfortable things, or is and again, we can stop at any time. That should also be a disclosure on
They don't have
this,
to answer any
because
of the
they don't
questions.
have to answer all the questions. They can skip, or they can stop at any time. That's also typical language. I'm not sure if
It's all in here, and I read it all, and I thought the only stress is how many questions it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. There's a lot. They said it's about a half hour
It's
for most.
lengthy.
It's good information, and typically your health teachers are going to use it.
After they go through that many questions.
Right.
I wonder how effective this survey is.
It's actually fairly effective.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
There's always kind of the thought on it is, well, are the kids going to be honest? Are they going to lie about it?
Right.
Well, I don't know how they quite did it, but it's like, well, we're going to have 10 kids lie that they did it. We're going to have 10 kids lie that they don't do it. even though they do. So
There's actually questions on it too, sorry, or there used to be, there's a fake, well, there's like a fake drug they used to put on it, so it
Yeah.
says, have you ever done
yeah,
blah, 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 and so if a kid's blowing through and they say, yes, I've done that, they know that there's
It's not
not
even-
gonna be honest, because they,
so they've done this for a while. They're pretty thorough on it, and kind of they can really see a lot of good results. And our health departments usually use it, or the health teachers use it to guide curriculum and stuff of that nature. It really is helpful. I know I've used it down in my district, and we meet on it and work with the ISD on the information, and we look at what's going on county-wise and specific, and maybe why is it more here or less there. So,
Somebody's dog, I'm thinking.
yep.
Let's hope. Uh, Any other questions? Okay. Career and college access. We had a meeting a few weeks ago about this, and I just wanted to encourage our parents of high school students, especially our seniors, to keep an eye on our social media for announcements and information on career and college access. There are important dates throughout the year for financial aid, college acceptance, different decisions, especially for our seniors, that it's nice to see on there that this is due, or it would be great to have your applications in by this date, because money is given away, and then if you're after that date, you might not have as much of a piece of the pie to get money for whatever school that you're accepted to. So just want to make sure that we are keeping an eye out on our college access and career stuff. Post prom, we haven't heard that in a while. We have a good group of parents right now that have started to talk about post prom. It's a little different. It would be a little different than what it's been in the past, because prom this year is May 18th at the Great Hall in Midland. And in the same parking lot is the Valley Plaza, which has, or Valley Lanes, which has the bowling alley, laser tag, putt-putt golf, bumper cars. They've got great things for our students to do, but when I called them, they don't do the all-night lock-ins anymore. It's like a 2-hour thing till 1, which may be better, than a student being up for 24 hours and driving home at 5 the next morning like we used to do. Still a little bit of concern with driving home at 1, but a lot of schools do it because it's a place for students to go where it's safe and hang out with adults and do some fun stuff and then go home after that. So I'm bringing it to you as early planning steps, where I think our parent-teacher conferences, we might have a quick little meeting for any parents interested to see what we want to do, if we want to really go after this and do this. But just wanted to throw that on your radar and hear if there were any concerns or questions or problems if it does move forward.
I thought we did that a couple of years ago where we were at Valley Plaza for that. Seems like I remember Carter going to it. Maybe his sophomore year, maybe his junior, I'm not sure.
We used to do them after every prom,
Yeah.
but it was the all-night thing, and
Yeah, this one, I don't think it was, but
Okay.
I don't know.
mental health. We have created posters with mental health series for our parents. If you remember, our parentguidance.com. There is one in our library window, and I've taken them around to certain businesses. I didn't mandate they put them up, but I gave them to them, and if they had a spot, they're big. They're like the concert poster size things. And just wanted to relay some of the topics that are coming up. October 16th, de-escalating cycles of conflict. November 6th, grief, the healing process. January 15th, how to motivate your child. And March 4th, social media, protecting your child. So very good topics. It's an online Zoom type meeting where it's anonymous. Your face isn't shown, your name isn't shown. Parents, there's no way for others that are watching to see who is on that. They do have little surveys that you can do on your phone as well, like what age are your kids, what do you think about this or that, but it's on your phone, so it's separate than what's on there. There's no discussion going on where people would know who is on there. So just wanted to make sure parents were aware of that, and also we do have the parent coaching as well from experts that parents can run things past and ask about some touchy situations that they may have that they don't know how to fix. So that's there also. Trivia night for Northern Bay Community Foundation will be November 4th. So I know we usually have a team or two from board members. The reason I bring this up, I know it's not a school organization, but that group donates a lot of money to our school, to our students. So when we have something, and especially something fun like that, it's good to get the word out because that's one of their biggest fundraisers, and a lot of that money comes back to us in grants. So wanted to put that out there for anyone interested. And then finally, legislative update. I was at the superintendent's conference last week. A lot of great things. One of the things I wanted to bring back were some of the legislative updates on some of the bills that are out there. FAFSA is the process for students to apply for student aid, for federal student aid. And in many schools, you have to apply to FAFSA to apply to this college. There's a bill out there right now that would mandate FAFSA completion for graduation, which most schools and superintendents think that is pretty crazy because now if a parent does, because it's mostly parents doing the stuff, entering their tax information and all of their stuff. So now we won't let students walk at graduation if their parents didn't do the work for that. So something to keep an eye on. I think the reason it's a big deal is because that's one of the state top 10 and 10 is to get more students in college. And when they apply for FAFSA and find out that, ooh, I could go to school for free, a lot of them then do apply and go to college where if they didn't apply, they didn't know that they could go somewhere for almost nothing, and they don't go to college. So I understand, but I don't think it's the great bill for our students' sake. There are many prohibited subjects from previous legislations that are now allowed to be in negotiations. Transportation bill is out there right now to help rural districts with large transportation costs. That's us. That would be great to see that. They talked a lot about it with not knowing exactly how that money is going to be given, if there's certain things that you have to qualify or get. But for us, much like many of the UP districts that are so large, we're paying a lot of money. And you look at some of our neighbors to the south, and they have a few buses that are within 5 square miles. So that money they can use for other things that we can't. So it would be nice to see that go through and help us out with transportation. And then another one was lowering sit-out time for educators who retire to come back early. Right now it's 9 months, and they're looking at 3 months or 6 months as another option to get them back into the classroom due to the shortages that we have. Any questions?
Want to come back, Chris?
Your 9 months are up. You can do it. Mr. Dewey, same thing. Yeah. All right. That's it for me. Thanks.
Any questions? All right, thank you. Student rep, Ms. Briggs.
For student council, homecoming 2023 was a huge success. A big thank you to the 35 student leaders and student council who worked tirelessly to ensure a fun week of activities. Congratulations to homecoming royalty. Second runner-up, Madison Schultz. First runner-up, Kinsey Jacobs, and homecoming queen, Kaya Billingsley. The fall blood drive will take place on Monday, October 31st from 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. in the school library. Student council hopes to collect over 20 pints of blood to be used in mid-Michigan. Halloween in the hallways will take place on Monday, October 31st from 6 to 7 p.m. in the school hallways. Student council will be recruiting volunteers soon to make this event a success. For cross country, Kinsey Jacobs placed first overall at the first Jack Pine Conference Jamboree race. The team is very excited about how the season has kicked off, as we have a varsity team of seniors and all our athletes are healthy and running well. Next week, the elementary cross country club officially starts. The young athletes will have 2 official practices followed by 3 races. The young runners will compete in JPC cross-country meets at both Gladwin and Harrison in October, and will finish their season off with a race at Doc Letchfield Park on Tuesday, October 24th. For bands, the Marching Spartans will be traveling to Clare High School tomorrow, Tuesday, September 26th, to participate in the 2023 Pioneer Marching Showcase. The band will play at 5:20 p.m. The 2023 Fall Band Bazaar, hosted by the Pinconning Band Boosters, will be held in the middle school gym on Saturday, September 14th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And
October. Is that October?
yeah, it's October. The shorthanded soccer team competed in the Reed City tournament over the weekend. The soccer team lost the first game to Reed City 1-0 before bouncing back and defeating Crossroads Christian Academy 1-0. The goal was scored by Landon Enciso on a penalty kick. The team will travel to USA on Monday and Shepherd on Wednesday before finishing the week on Friday when they host Hemlock. And that's it for me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Reports from administrative staff. Administrators? Not going on, huh?
Trinity did a great job explaining Oco, so I won't talk about that. September 18th, we had a testing meeting to discuss spring testing. It's a little bit different this year. It goes online for SAT, and then the window, it's not like a day anymore. There's actually a window where we can complete the SAT testing. So we just met early last week to discuss that and kind of how that's going to look. So big thanks to Ms. Palmville for starting that process and getting that, getting the plan in place for the new changes. And then Jay spoke today at our staff meeting about the Blue Book and all that. So I feel like we're on top of it for spring testing, and I think it's going to be a smooth transition because the team is doing a good job getting that together. Department head meetings looked at SAT and MSTEP data. Recently, we are looking to incorporate some cross-curricular activities to enhance those areas of weakness that we found from the SAT data, and also explore our strengths. Why we're strong in this area versus other areas. So we're just having those conversations to kind of increase our dialogue with SAT and MSTEP testing. So that. We have interviews that are getting set up for the Mr. Kaiser's old position. Mr. Kaiser has been with us for about 5 years. He's going to be a tough one to replace. Great guy, always a smile on his face, and was really good for kids. But moved on to Freeland, where he lives, and his kids go to school, so it makes sense. But it's still, I know when he talked, it was a tough decision for him to make. So it makes sense being 30 minutes versus 30. I get it. So interview is, we have an applicant that we're interviewing hopefully this Wednesday or Thursday. Just trying to finalize the time for that candidate. So looking forward to that. So with lockdown drills, there's 3 lockdown drills a year that we have to do. We have one scheduled for this week, and I just invited the board, if you wanted to come and participate, kind of walk that with us. Usually what we'll do is like a little debriefing after, just kind of talk about what went well, what could we do better, those kind of things. So if you want, I can send you the time we're gonna do that, and we'll, if you want to walk with us, that'd be more than happy to have it. So always good to have some more eyes on that. It's good for you guys to go through the process too. So, and then October 19th. That's the typo. So October 19th, we are doing our parent-teacher conferences, working with Renee from our Zello for the ISD to do some things for parents on that day. Also working with Sacred Heart, who does a lot of vape education and education for parents on, things that kids are using these days that all schools are kind of going through with vaping and things like that. So looking to give some parents some resources on the 19th for our parent-teacher conferences. And on the 20th, actually, we're going to do our Renaissance. That's a half day for us, so we figured that's a good day to kind of get that going. We usually do it during the second hour. So Renaissance will be the 20th for their second hour. Any questions from the board?
Thank you, sir. Anybody else?
Central Elementary, the Christian Clay Memorial Playground should be completed this week. And actually, we are seriously be able to get on that next week. They are missing one piece, but the company's been notified that it's being shipped here as quick as possible. We did do our lockdown drill today, and Ms. Tiny was there for that as long as the school resource officer, and that went quite well.
David? Thank you. Anybody else? Alrighty. Site committee.
That's me. We met. It's just summarizing, I pulled my notes. No pressure. There it is.
Just a little nervous.
Well, that's right. Andy notified us, so I'll share this with you, that the Booster Club will be handling the sign fundraiser that previously was done by Touchdown Club. We're looking at possibility of a new bond proposal. We're coming up on the completion of the 8, I believe is the year.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it
Somewhere
was
around there, yeah.
9 and 10 when we.
And so it's time to start talking about that. We need to do that before that expires. So within the next 5 years, we'd like to have a package together. So Andy's gonna start the discussion with Hendricks. And he's just leaving all avenues open on what our needs are. He's going out for bids on the soccer dugouts. We're looking at some roof repairs that are needed. Again, that's gonna be going to the budget, so we can use some ESSER funds. And Andy's also looking at our K1 through 2-5 situations, see student numbers, and how we best can manage those classrooms. In the upcoming school year, nothing this year. But we've got some small class sizes at Linwood, and full classrooms at Central, so we need to manage those. Any questions?
Thank you, sir. The non-consent agenda. Item A.
Move to approve the wage retention agreement with the USW.
Motion and support. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Bedifer,
Yes.
Yaris,
Yeah.
Doobie,
Yes.
Holstein,
Yes.
Rabish, yes, Kuchar,
Yes.
6-0.
Motion carries. Thank you. And the MiFi surveys, item B.
Move to improve the MiFi surveys in basic.
Support.
Motion and support. Discussion.
Was that?
Yep, I want to clarify. So basic for 7th grade, in other words, follow Andy's recommendation. As far as 7th grade would do basic, and 9th and 11th would be the more in-depth one.
High school would be the full,
The
and
full.
middle school will be the
Yes. So I'm fine with that, a little change. Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Public comment? Anybody like to address the board about any item? I'm glad you're staying seated, John.
I'll catch you later.
Anybody have any public comment? All right, seeing none, discussion items from the board?
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion, we have supported discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, we're adjourned, thank you.
Yeah.
Not bad, not bad.